Hi everyone, my name is Teresa Fitzpatrick and I'd like to welcome you to the Team Salesforce final project presentation. As you can gather from the name of our team, we have chosen Salesforce.com as the company we will review for our managerial and organizational concept final class project. I am joined today by fellow team members Brendan Curtin and Erich Tompkins. I will be kicking off the presentation with an introduction to Salesforce.com and proceed to discuss its mission, vision, and values. I will then turn it over to Erich Tompkins to cover Salesforce's strategic, tactical, and operational goals. Brendan Curtin will then introduce us to Salesforce's key leaders and leadership style, and then Erich will provide a summary and conclusion for the presentation. Salesforce's journey began in 1999 in a one-bedroom apartment next to Mark Benioff's house atop Telegraph Hill in San Francisco. The three men that started working in this tiny office along with Mark were Parker Harris, Frank Dominguez, and Dave Melanoff. The decor included posters of the Dalai Lama, Albert Einstein, and two dogs. Salesforce is known as the fastest growing tech company and is the #1 relationship management or CRM software in the world. Salesforce was started with the goal of creating business software using the software as a service model, or SaaS. This model eliminated the need for expensive startup costs, years of implementation time, and ongoing maintenance and infrastructure costs. The following presentation will shed light on what has led to Salesforce's success, but by providing details regarding the mission and vision of the company, the strategic, tactical, and operational goals, and identifying who the key leaders are and their leadership style. As we learned in class, an organization's mission defines its reason for being. As cited in its fiscal year 18 annual report, Salesforce.com's mission is to empower our customers to connect with their customers in entirely new ways through cloud, mobile, social, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence technologies. Their published vision statement is one that is centered around a commitment to a sustainable future. Salesforce believes that it's in the business of business to improve the state of the world. They do this by serving the interests of all their stakeholders, including employees, customers, partners, the communities in which they operate, and the environment. It's interesting how similar this is to what we've observed during our work on the Whole Foods case study. In addition to their mission and vision, Salesforce operations are guided by a set of core values which include trust, customer success, innovation, and equality. At the top of the list of values is the trust their customers have that Salesforce technologies will deliver the highest level of security, reliability, and availability. As Mark Benioff stated in the Q4 2019 Salesforce.com earnings call on March 4th, 2019, there is a clear connection between customer success and a company's values, and that's why trust is at the heart of our culture. Innovation is driven by empowering trailblazers with technology to succeed. Salesforce trailblazers include employees, customers, partners, and communities, or what is also referenced as Salesforce Ohana, the Hawaiian for family. And lastly, the value of equality is Salesforce's belief that business can be an important platform for change, and their higher purpose is to drive equality for all. Diverse companies are more innovative and better positioned to success. Salesforce strives to create a workplace that is reflective of communities they serve, a place where everyone feels empowered to bring their true selves to work. So how does all of this tie into their corporate strategies? The following are a few of Salesforce's strategies that are tied to these values. Cross-selling and upselling. By deepening their relationship with existing customers, they can upgrade said customers' experience through premium subscription upgrades, targeting additional business units, and other add-on services. Basically the core value of trust. Extending existing service offerings. All subscription levels of Salesforce were designed to accommodate new features and functionality. This innovation will be accomplished through internal development, acquisitions, and partnerships, the core value of innovation. Reducing customer attrition. Customer success and other related programs are run to secure customer subscription renewals, the core value of customer success. Expanding and strengthening the partner ecosystem. Working with strategic partners to reach new markets and industries, offer a variety of solutions and apps through the App Exchange, and address the business requirements of both current and future customers. Core value of trust and innovation. Now I will turn the presentation over to Erich Tompkins to cover Salesforce's strategic, tactical, and operational goals.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the Salesforce mission and values. Now we're going to talk about Salesforce's goal-setting process. I found a TechCrunch article basically explained that Salesforce's main goal is by 2034 to be a $60 billion company. As you can see here, the article had a table called the Book of Salesforce that explained their revenue and goal-setting strategy from the company's inception in 1999 to 2009 when they reached their first $1 billion, $10 billion by 2018, which was a recent goal. Many people did not think that they could achieve it. They achieved it so effectively and in less time than they achieved their first $1 billion, which is arguably a harder goal that they can see the growing momentum in the company. So their next goal is to reach $20 billion by 2022, to double that again by 2028 to $40 billion, and then with the $60 billion goal of 2034. This puts them in a market capitalization size to their competitors. Oracle is $37 billion and Microsoft is $90, so it puts them right about in the middle, which is about where they wanted to be. So in terms of goal setting, why is this relevant? It very much follows the principles of SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The specific, the measurable, and the achievable are very obvious. The dollars are specific along with dates. They're measurable for the same reason, because you can say, it's 2022, have we reached $20 billion? Are we on our way? You can break those goals down and decompose them into incremental strategies, both by money and by time. And then obviously time-bound would come along with the positioning of dollars to years. The one that is not immediately obvious from this chart is the relevancy. How are these goals relevant to Salesforce? Essentially, Salesforce has always set up a mission to be a market leader in the customer relationship management space, the adoption of the cloud, the implementation of Internet of Things, as well as artificial intelligence. So the relevancy here is to use these newer technologies, specifically Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence, both of which rely on their core competency, which is the cloud, to evolve the business forward. I think in the shorter term, they have a lot more clarity of how they will get there. And then the general philosophy as you go along, financial goals tend to be a hockey stick, which means that it's easier to say bigger performance in the future without a lot of specifics. But what they've done is essentially framed the strategies that they're going to use, which is the adoption of new technologies as well as acquisitions, to ensure that they are always leading the marketplace. And by being a market leader, they can bring in the revenue that would come along with that.
Thank you, Erich, for that very intriguing presentation. As all of you have been told, my name is Brendan Curtin, and I will be presenting Salesforce Key Leaders and Leadership Style. When Teresa first suggested that we tackle Salesforce for our final project, I was a little apprehensive. To tell you the truth, I really didn't know much about them, other than getting emails from them from time to time trying to sell me something. But after doing a little research, a little reading, I really thought it was a good idea that we tackle them. So, what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to influence employees to voluntarily pursue organizational goals. At Salesforce, leadership starts with Chairman and Co-CEO Mark Benioff. Mark grew up and attended high school in the San Francisco Bay Area. He founded his first company, Liberty Software, at the age of 15, and by the age of 16 was earning enough money to put himself through college. He received his bachelor's degree from the University of Southern California in business administration. Upon graduation, he wanted to go out and start his own company right away. His professors at USC suggested that he go out, learn the business, and then venture out on his own. So he went to work for Oracle. He worked for Oracle in various positions, and then after 13 years, in 1999, he teamed up with Parker Harris, Dave Melinoff, and Frank Dominguez, and they started Salesforce. Right out of the gate, Mark developed the 1-1-1 model. The idea here is that the company would give 1% of its product, 1% of its equity, and 1% of workers' hours back to the community that they serve. Mark is the chairman of the board of directors for Salesforce. So in 1999, while at lunch with a friend, it was suggested to Mark that he team up with Parker Harris to start his new company. Parker is a graduate of Middlebury College, where he earned his bachelor's degree in English literature. Before teaming up with Mark, he was the co-founder of Left Coast Software. At Salesforce, Parker oversees the design, development, and service delivery of all products. He also serves on the board of directors. When Benioff felt it was time to leave Oracle because he was a little burnt out, he felt he needed a little time off. So he and a friend traveled to Hawaii and to India to practice meditation. This is where Benioff came up with the idea, the vision of Salesforce, software as a service. Benioff also credits his spirituality for his leadership style. He always takes a step back and listens before he reacts. Also, trust and empowerment is a big part of his leadership style. Perfect example is one day he called Yoshi Arakawa into his office and offered him the position of CTO in Japan. Arakawa turned to him and said, "We don't have a team in Japan," which in turn, Benioff said to him, "You'll figure it out." People always wonder also how Benioff's culture is instilled in each employee. They believe that day one is for volunteering. And the thought here is that on their first day, they're brought in, they're showed the kitchen, they're showed the bathroom, their desk, and then they're brought out into the community where they volunteer at a school, homeless shelter, and so on. Benioff feels that if you're going to be a service company, you need to know the importance of servicing people. So, also at Oracle, Benioff learned that communication skills are really, really important. So he brought the same culture to Salesforce, and he surrounds new employees with the best communicators that the company has. This way, when they go out to sell, they know how to communicate. So all in all, they have to be doing something right over at Salesforce. In 2018, Glassdoor.com had them listed as 11th best place to work in the United States. Their stock has been increasing steadily. A investment of $10,000 in 2009 is worth $174,505.05 today. So I want to thank everybody for listening. I especially want to thank Teresa and Erich for working so hard on this project with me, and I hope everybody enjoyed this semester. I know all of you were expecting Erich to present the conclusion, but for unforeseen circumstances, it's my pleasure to present it to you. So in conclusion, as stated earlier, Salesforce's mission is to empower customers and to use technology to connect with people. They are a highly innovative company with the world's #1 customer relation management platform. They maintain their market leadership through innovation and acquisitions, and they have a strong relationship culture that empowers employees and fosters a culture of innovation. I hope all of you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.